top 10 books of all time. 10 books that are better than any other. Big lists. They're really popular on YouTube apparently. So yeah, just top 10 books. How do you distill that? How do you narrow that down into something solid? I'm Randy Ray. This is the Literate Texan. I got to be honest about this video. This is not a video that I intended to make, or in fact, I didn't even write this video. This is a scripted video, which is unusual for me. But my channel has been purchased by James Riccala over at Quentin Curious Volumes, and he's given me some new quote-unquote corporate directives about how he wants to make some changes to the channel. No more cowboy hats, for one thing, but also he wants me to work from a script now. So this is the new Literate Texan, and this is the article top 10 books, which is completely scripted here. All right, number 10 is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. The Hunger Games was very popular 20 years ago and is seeing a recent return to popularity because of at least one sequel and one prequel. No, wait, they're both prequels. I missed that in the script there. Thanks, James. But at any rate, I actually really liked The Hunger Games. When the original series first came out 20 years ago, I read one a day until I finished the original trilogy. Now, I haven't read the three new books in the series yet, but my daughter has, and she loved them. So just because, The Hunger Games, number 10 of my list of the best books. The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, the whole series. Takes up one spot on my list of top 10 books. Number 9, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. I don't know anything about this book personally, but it says here in the script that it's about transformation and that it's been translated into multiple languages, and that I'm probably going to love it, that it's like self-help combined with really great literature. And the script compared it with Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, which, is an interesting choice for multiple reasons. For one thing, why didn't you just use Siddhartha as the list item instead of The Alchemist? Because I've read Siddhartha, but I haven't read The Alchemist. Number 8, The Catcher in the Rye by JD Salingee. JD Salingee, of course, genius, literary recluse, who wrote just a handful of books that we ever got to see published, most of which were collections of short stories. When he died, there was some hubbub about they were going to re-release a lot of the stuff that he had written, that apparently he had continued to write for decades after his last publication, and that all his works were in a vault there in his house. But so far, we haven't seen anything. But Catcher in the Rye is, according to this script here, the greatest coming-of-age novel of all time. And I tend to agree that I liked it. I liked it a lot much better when I was a much younger man than now that I'm an older man. But it's certainly, it's earned its place on this list that I've been given here. Yes, this is exactly the list of top 10 books of all time I would grade if I wrote this script myself. Yes, of course it is. Because according to James, I need to add some excitement and some chaotic energy to my channel. Number 7, The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. Okay, I bet you weren't expecting to see that on my list. That's actually a series of books now about an archaeologist or something. Honestly, I haven't read The Da Vinci Code. I'm not that into airport novels. This stuff that he's written on here about the Da Vinci Code refers a lot to its popularity and has become a bunch of movies with Tom Hanks and stuff, but blah, blah, blah. I can't do it. I just can't. I'm sorry. No, that's number 7, The Da Vinci Code. Number 6, The Hobbit by JRR Tolkien. The Hobbit's something I can get into, man. That was one of the first books that inspired me to become a reader when I was a boy. I read The Hobbit when I found out there was a sequel trilogy and that it was even bigger. Boy, you could not imagine my surprise and delight. But yeah, The Hobbit, I'll tell you what, it's hard to, young and old alike. it's hard to find anybody who's going to dislike The Hobbit. And all meta narrative aside, The Hobbit really does deserve its spot on the list. It really is absolutely terrific. If you haven't read it, you definitely should. I can't imagine that you haven't at least heard of The Hobbit by JRR Tolkien. Number 5, 1984 by George Orwell. When it comes to dystopian novels, there aren't too many more novels besides 1984 that are as famous as 1984 is for being a dystopian novel. It is the quintessential dystopian novel. If you want to talk about a dystopian novel, 1984 is the one that's going to come up. It also seems to me like it reflects the society we live in better than almost any speculative fiction that I've ever seen, except maybe Franz Kafka. So yeah, 1984 by George Orwell, definitely worth checking out. That was number 5. Number 4, Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Okay, so I'm sorry, I haven't read anything by Jane Austen yet. I've been told that's really bad for my credibility as a book lover that I haven't read Jane Austen yet. But that doesn't mean I'm going to lie and say that I've read it when I haven't, because I just haven't gotten to it yet. I think she only wrote 6 books. I think I could probably finish her entire oeuvre in a couple of months. But Pride and Prejudice is really famous. I don't know what it's about. That was number 4, though, on the list. We're closing in on the final 3, the top 3. Number 3 on the list, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, okay, by J.K. Rowling. Now, this is another one that's kind of a cheat because it's a gateway into another series that's very, very popular. Now, does the Harry Potter series deserve the popularity that it's achieved and maintained? That's an interesting question that's probably not too interested, that the man who wrote this script isn't too interested in, okay? Just go read the Harry Potter books. That's what he would say. They tend to get darker and more entertaining and better as the series moves along. That's true of both the movies and the books. That was number 3. Number 2, To Kill a Mockingbird. Who would have thought that To Kill a Mockingbird would have made it onto a list of top 10 books? But lo and behold, there it is, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. And it's a moral tale about an attorney in a small town that I feel like most of us ought to be able to look up to as the type of man that we would hope we would be. And also in terms of how he raised his daughter in a time of racism, which was a really difficult time. And of course, some would argue that now is still a time for racism, and they'd be right, of course, but not like it was when To Kill a Mockingbird was written, and not like it was when To Kill a Mockingbird was set. We don't deal with racism like that anymore. But anyway, terrific book. Absolutely terrific. Yes, you should read it. And number 1, The Lord of the Rings. How did J.R.R. Tolkien make it back on here again? He just did. The Lord of the Rings is infinitely rereadable. It is literary and good for all ages. A little kid can read it and get plenty out of it, as well as an adult. So, Lord of the Rings, number 1 on this list of top 10 books. And so that's it. That's my scripted. It didn't seem scripted. That's because my delivery is really natural. But that's my scripted. Anyway, thanks for the script, James. I'll try to do better with the chaotic, fun, exciting stuff that you say my channel is lacking so much in. And I'll continue to look over these notes since the acquisition to see what other changes I need to make to my brand. Until then, everybody stay. Oh, wait, he told me to stop saying that too. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video.